Give me a minute. Hey, everyone. Greetings. It's a crazy time, a crazy day. But in the middle of the craziness, we have one of our favorite people coming to talk to us about how to make it all better, at least in terms of our personal health and well-being. Welcome, Dr. Hadar Elbaz.
Thank you so much, Dr. Naomi. It's great to be here again.
It's great to have you. Please call me Naomi. So originally from Israel, Dr. Elbaz finished her military service there and then moved to New York and attended Hunter College to study nursing, where she realized her calling in holistic healing. She went on to complete a master's in traditional Chinese medicine at Pacific College of Oriental Medicine in San Diego. She's taken her education further, graduating as a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine in 2017. If that's not enough, she also happens to be an Ironman triathlete and double bronze Olympian in the Jewish Olympics. And she continues working with athletes and elite athletes, treating not only injuries, but helping with prevention. She is extremely passionate and knowledgeable about functional medicine. This approach focuses on endocrine disorders such as thyroid, adrenals, and hormone balance, GI issues such as leaky gut, food allergies and sensitivities, the immune system, and how all these interact with the environment and our bodies. She, the perfect person. Dr. Elbaz is also committed to helping others with detoxifying the body from toxicity of heavy metals and chemicals found in food, water, vaccines, and the environment. She utilizes nutrition, herbs, supplements, and acupuncture to help facilitate pathways for effective cleansing and detoxification. So she's with the wellness company, and she also has her own online practice, which I'm a big fan of as well, using functional medicine to create a vibrant glow. And that is called the Vibrant Glow. And you can find it online, and you can find her on TWC as well, our wonderful sponsors. So welcome back. And as I shared with this audience, I'm personally in treatment with you, and I'm feeling the vibrant glow.
I love it.
You had me do blood work and send you other biological samples, which I won't get into. And you kind of read what was going on inside my body, which was completely fascinating. And you reoriented my diet and my supplements. And I'm going to do my second parasite cleanse with you. The full moon is coming up, or the full moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is, so I'm already a gigantic fan of Dr. Hadar Elbaz, and I know from my own experience that her approach makes you feel better and helps your body heal. So I want to get into the subject of today, which is in your bio, heavy metals. And the reason I wanted to bring this up, Dr. Elbaz, is many of us are very aware now of solar geoengineering. It's a story I reported on and broke when people thought it was a conspiracy theory in 2017. Tons of programs, one at the Department of Energy, I'm sorry to say, a lot of them coming out of Harvard, a horrible group called the Kreutz Group, and evil Dr. David Keith has perfected or is experimenting with, meaning they've been doing it for years, solar radiation management, which is spraying sulfates, air pollution into the sky. And we know that alumina are also being sprayed into the sky. There's something called military chaff, which is aluminum, which the military sprays into the sky for signals intelligence purposes. And we also know that alumina and heavy metals are in the vaccine adjuvants, the mRNA platform, I believe, but also, many of the other vaccines. So I am super fascinated by heavy metals. We're knowing instinctively, looking around us, that this spraying of heavy metals or of metallic toxins is damaging plant life, getting into our waterways, probably hurting animals and livestock, certainly hurting human health. So let me just start with that. Tell us about heavy metals in our environment.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great topic and very comprehensive one. But just let's start by the fact that, yes, aluminum and mercury and other heavy metals are found in the environment and in vaccines. And yes, in geoengineering, spraying in the skies. It's no joke. They actually have found that aluminum, barium, cadmium, and other heavy metals are sprayed in those geoengineering, these chemtrails, not contrails, will actually last in the sky longer than a contrail, condensation trail. So you can tell a heavy metal, you can tell a spraying of a chemical trail versus a condensation. I have a hard time saying that word, trail in the sky, because they last longer and they can literally create clouds, right?
Yeah.
It's cloud seeding. So
every day we see this in upstate New York, every day. But sorry to interrupt. Go on.
Yeah, no, I used to see it in California every single day, and it was like zigzags and crosses and like all kinds of shapes all day, and it literally clouds the sky. And there were no longer formations of proper clouds. It was just seeding of clouds that are overcasting the sky, and it just is not pretty. And you're inhaling it, you're breathing it, right? It goes through the skin, through your nostrils, through everything, and it goes into your bloodstream. And unfortunately, aluminum and other heavy metals do cross the blood-brain barrier and do affect the brain. They are neurotoxic, right? So neurotoxic, that affects the brain, toxicity leading to Alzheimer's and, God forbid, cancers, ADD, ADHD, autism in children, like so many health issues. And this is the problem. People are not aware that this is a real thing. And if you don't detox regularly, your body accumulates it.
Ugh.
Right.
So sobering. So how are people mostly taking it into their body? Through breathing or through the water or the food supply or everything?
All of the above. So let's talk about the air. If you're inhaling it through the skies, you're obviously inhaling it. So that comes in through your breathing, right? On your skin, everything absorbs through your skin as well. Injecting, if you are injecting vaccines, beware, you are injecting heavy metals. They are in there as adjuvants, because this is what gives your body the immunity, or helps the immune, like create immunity for that. So unfortunately, it's part of the vaccine's adjuvants. And it does cross the blood-brain barrier, as I said. And for children, it's even worse. Go ahead.
Can I jump in with a question there? The earliest vaccines in the 18th century were smallpox vaccines, and it was literally the pus from pustules of smallpox and cowpox. They didn't use heavy metals, to my knowledge, at that time. The theory of vaccines, right, of giving someone a little bit of an infection so they create an immune response, it doesn't require heavy metals. So why are heavy metals in vaccines?
To activate the actual virus, to activate the actual bacteria, to make an immune response for the body. That's why.
Why isn't the bacteria alone enough to do that?
I am not sure about that, but I mean, I wish I had better answers than that, but it just is in there, and it's been there for decades,
right?
To help the vaccine be activated and create an immune response. So, and that's what the aluminum does. That's what the mercury. Yeah. Could they do it otherwise? Sure. That could be like a nostril, a way to inhale it, or homeopathic dose nose. I think I'm saying it right. But they're not doing it that way. And unfortunately, also the vaccines are made with aborted fetus cells, kidney cells, monkey cell, like animal cells, DNA of other humans. So, and this is why we see so many issues today where babies are getting it or adults are getting it, and they're not only getting sick, but they're starting to question, like, if you're a girl being born and you're getting a DNA of a boy, aborted fetal boy, think about that. This is why we have so many confused genders of thinking, hey, I'm not really a girl, maybe I should be a boy, or I'm not really a boy, maybe I should become a girl. Wouldn't that make sense too? Because this is the DNA they are getting injected with vaccines.
Oh my God. It does make, I mean, it sounds, simultaneously like the science fiction horror movie, and it makes sense, which is what a lot of things these days are like. Did I ever tell you my story about cadaver paste from a man?
Not sure. Oh, maybe, but go ahead and repeat it.
Well, I'll just briefly share. The reason I know you're onto something, two reasons. One is I never take flu vaccines, but I did during the pandemic because a loved one's allergist said I had to, which is insane. Right. But I saw from the insert it was derived from a line of spaniel cells, a female spaniel that died in the 1940s. And the minute I took it into my body, even before I knew that, I felt like something was wrong, like existentially, that something not human was inside my body. But more profoundly, I had a laminectomy, which is a spinal fusion, 2009. And after I woke up, I was told by the surgeon, oh yeah, we used cadaver paste to patch you together, along your spine. I'm like, what is cadaver paste? So it's the ground up bones of a dead person. And it turned, and I inquired further, and I felt from the minute I was conscious that I had the consciousness of a man in my body. This is going to sound crazy, I know, but I felt, and not just a man, but specifically a man of a much older generation, like someone who had been born, who had come of age in the 1940s, 1950s, that kind of awareness. And it kind of makes sense because our consciousness I know I've had trippy conversations like this with various TWC doctors, but maybe our consciousness is embedded in our cells, or, ancestral memories embedded in our cells. Am I getting way off the reservation? Or
No, you're 100% on it, actually, because you are getting the DNA of another human.
So what does that mean scientifically? Why do we care? How could that affect, like, a girl thinking she's a boy or a boy thinking she's a girl?
I mean, if it's in your DNA and your body is very sensitive and you're starting to sense something, then you're sensing it, right? You're not wrong. What you're feeling is not wrong. But getting the DNA from a cadaver, from another human, is extremely, you're going to feel it. Your body will integrate it. The DNA will be integrated into yours. So this is why vaccines and the mRNA and all these vaccines that people are getting that have other humans and animals' DNA in them, what is it doing to their body? What is it doing to their psyche?
God.
Right?
Oh my God. And honestly, again, going back to the beginning of vaccines, that wasn't necessary, right? You didn't have to put the DNA. I mean, you put.
That's how they make it.
Cells,
Yeah.
But
right.
So you think that a male fetus's DNA integrating into the DNA or into the body of a girl can affect consciousness? What would the mechanism be?
I do believe it. I have seen it happen, and I think I see it happen more and more as back in the day, anyone was barely vaccinated. Have you seen one transgender back in the day?
No.
I haven't. Have you seen, it's become more and more prevalent in our society, and the more people are vaccinated, and I have people who have never been vaccinated, they're perfectly normal, healthy, never have any health issues. But so many people who are overly vaccinated, especially in today's CDC, childhood vaccine schedule, which gives you over 80 something vaccine dosages. How can the body possibly, for a little baby, or even up to 18 years or 2 years or whatever, how can it possibly be healthy after getting so many toxins? Forget about heavy metals and glyphosate or formaldehydes, polysorbate 80. So this is how it works. Polysorbate is a surfactant, polysorbate 80 and 20. It opens your blood-brain barrier. When your blood-brain barrier is open and you have the heavy metals entering your blood, they don't just get excreted from your blood or urine or stools, they go straight into your brain. So some people are obviously more biologically weaker in a sense. They're more susceptible to having neurological issues and health issues from that, whereas other people will not have as many issues. But today you're seeing children on ADD and ADHD medication like candy. Right. Back in the day, no one has taken it. Did it even exist? I don't even know. I don't even think so. Back in the day, we barely had a few vaccine dosages.
Right. Now, I remember when I was a child, it was 2 or 3 at the most.
And is it curing anyone? No. Is it helping? I mean, the various vaccine adverse events reporting system, and with COVID, they have actually reported more COVID reactions with VAERS than any other vaccines combined, the regular vaccine schedule. Mm-hmm. So that just tells you the adverse events that do happen with vaccines, mRNA and non-mRNA. And now, by the way, they're trying to inject it for animals. I just posted it on my Instagram today. I was like, are you kidding me? I hope people wake up to never give that to anyone, human or an animal, ever. I will never vaccinate my pet ever again.
Right.
No way. I mean, I never did. She was rescued, so she had her. And I can tell there's definitely something, confusion or something with my pet since rescuing her, because I can tell a normal behavioral pet versus like someone who is more injured or has some neurological something. I can tell. And I always say, like, I feel like she's vaccine injured in a sense.
Right. Well, that could well be. I mean, I've interviewed a vet. Sorry, I interviewed a holistic vet, and she said animals are getting cancer. Their lives are like 6 years shorter than they used to be. They're getting cancers that they never used to get. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's very, very sobering. So in the vaccines, in the environment, we're getting heavy metals, we're getting aluminum, we're getting barium. You mentioned other chemicals, which are, I think, not heavy metals, like you said, polysorbate 80. Is that one?
That's in vaccines.
In vaccines, right.
It's possible that it's also in what they're spraying in the skies.
But in terms of our toxic load, we're getting it from many sources.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, if I may, sometimes carrageenan, which is also a surfactant, which also is in food. You really have to look properly at ingredients. And polysorbate 20 or 80 or 60 is in food as well. And I've seen that. And so anytime I see carrageenan, I run because your body does not react. It's carcinogenic. It's not good for your brain. I would not touch. So, like, for example, coconut whipped cream. So many of them have carrageenan.
Right.
And I know, because if I had a coconut whipped cream and I feel off right away, I'm like, oh gosh, what's in it? And then I look, or obviously now I don't buy anything without looking at the ingredients ever again. That tells you, read ingredients always. Carrageenan is not your friend. Polysorbate 80 or 20 is not your friend. Any surfactants, really not your friend, not your brain's friend, not your body's friend. So beware of what you're consuming, what you're injecting.
But it's so deceptive, Dr. Elbaz, because when you look up carrageenan, it says, seaweed extract. I mean, it makes it sound so healthy and
seaweed extract is great. Seaweed is great, but carrageenan, not so much. Okay. It's all processed, I would say. I wouldn't touch it.
So we're getting, oh God, this is so distressing.
Sorry. I don't mean to stress you here.
No, I mean, I'm just thinking about what you said about the confusion of genders and human aborted fetal cells. Like, what is
my theory on it? I should probably write a paper on it and bring it more, but I've read articles about it and I've talked to doctors about it, and I have myself read about more and seen it happen as well, where kids who are much more heavily vaccinated are confused, they're not feeling well, they're not doing well, something is not right. And I'm not saying anything. Listen, I'm not, your body, your choice, do whatever you want with it. I'm not here to degrade or say anything negative about anyone or anything. However, it's not normal, especially to go and do all these transgender surgeries and stuff. It's just not healthy, and it's not normal. And you really have to question, where is it coming from? What's the source? What's the root cause? What's been the childhood like? What are they injected with? What are they eating? What are they consuming? Right?
Yeah. I go to other countries, less developed countries, and people look much healthier, but also there isn't, I mean, again, no disrespect to LGBTQ anyone, right?
Right.
But there isn't this ambiguity about gender. Maybe it's cultural, maybe it's not. Maybe it's, different, not so many injections. I mean, I was in India and it was literally it was a completely different culture from the United States now. It's the way I remember US culture in the 70s and early 80s, in the sense that, the music videos were about falling in love and getting married and having children. And it really made me think, you just don't see that in Western pop culture anymore. You see glorifications of, certainly being alone and their girlfriend is their best friend and men are a terrible disappointment. And, you certainly don't see, this story of people falling in love. You do see a glorification of kind of this, androgynous unit floating around in society without any, roots or family or deep connections. And that is weird. And you really may be onto something, but couldn't it be this, as simple as this, Dr. Hadar? These lipid nanoparticles. So unfortunately, Dr. Robert Malone is yelling at me today on X because we wrote an open letter, Sasha Latipova, Shannon Joy, Dr. Mary Bowden, and I wrote an open letter that a lot of notable people, everyone's welcome to sign it, are supporting, basically saying to HHS, where's the action? When are you going to take these shots off the market? And the reason I bring this up is he was one of the developers of the mRNA injection.
Right.
It uses lipid nanoparticles, and lipid nanoparticles have been known since 2017, for almost a decade, to degrade sexual function and reproductive function. So couldn't the gender confusion and sexuality confusion just be a mechanical thing, that these lipid nanoparticles are degrading the testes, blocking the ovaries, just damaging kind of sexual function?
Yeah, I mean, vaccines will do that too. Anything that degrade your testes and lowers your testosterone and lowers your hormones and messes with your hormones completely can mess you up completely. But yeah, the lipid nanoparticles and the spike, and I wish he had never created this ever. These should have never been allowed. These should have never been on market. And now they're trying to bring more of it. But back to the point, yes, this could definitely be another cause. It's not the sole cause of it, right?
Right.
Mass vaccinations, overly vaccinating, foods you're eating, having your phone in your pocket.
Yes.
That by itself will fry your, I was going to say the word balls, but it really will. And and everything else, right? And it will lower your kidney jing. In Chinese medicine, kidney yin, yang, jing, essence. That's the root of your fire. That's what's going to feed your body with that stamina, that sperm, that those eggs, like everything to be fed and healthier and more, how should I say it? Just functioning well and healthier. So if your kidneys are weak, which this will fry it. Vaccines will fry it. It will weaken it. That's just by itself is going to create problems. EMF. So just the phones and then EMF and then the vaccine. You're like an antenna, walking antenna to all that stuff. And then you're injecting more things. I mean, your body is bombarded with toxins and electrical, EMFs and so many other things that you're putting in your body. And then you're applying things on your skin and what tap water you're drinking and the foods you're drinking or eating, foods you're eating with hormones, antibiotics, GMOs, glyphosate. I mean, if you add it all up, which has been added for the last decades, why are we doing it? Why are we poisoning ourselves and our children? Why?
Right.
Benefiting here. This is what we have to look into, right? And
it's not as if there's an easy answer, like which state is cleanest, right? Because Florida, where you are, has a lot of great laws, but people are complaining that the sun is being blocked every day.
Actually, they banned it recently.
I heard.
Fluoride in water. So fluoride and geoengineering are both banned in Florida, and Utah, I know, banned fluoride. That was the first state to do that. But
are you seeing a difference in the sky? It is?
It's much bluer. Today, no, it's been raining. Not today, finally, but
normal rain.
Oh, yes. And the last months have been like actual blue skies. We're seeing the sun, whereas last year, not so much.
Oh, that's wonderful news. That's actually the best news I've heard all week. That's
delivering some good news today.
That's amazing, because that means that could be a model. We could pass those bills state by state.
Everywhere should pass it. Everywhere. They should be banned in every state. I don't know why not, but they should.
Who knows what the reason is. I mean, I've speculated about this quite a lot. And a lot of these patents, Dr. Hadar, come from Silicon Valley. The same investors who invest in the mRNA platform invest in geoengineering, those evil monsters. But I'm persuaded that these things are related, that the more you just block out the sky, create a monochrome world, the less interesting it is to go outside. And the more depressing it is to go outside. And plus, you don't feel good because there are all these chemicals in the air. So then you come indoors and you get on your phone or you get on your device, and that's more net revenue for Microsoft or Facebook.
And it programs their mind. It literally programs their mind by being glued to the screens, right?
Absolutely. I've been very aware of that. I actually have started to do Shabbat, like off devices. And
that's great.
It's been life-changing. It's been absolutely life-changing. But one of the things that makes me aware of going 24 hours without any electronic devices is I can literally feel how my brain is kind of disrupted and repatterned all week long. And I can't think the deeper thoughts, right? And then on Shabbat, I start to have my brain waves kind of settle into a more natural state. And I'm like, oh, I can think profound thoughts. I can follow a train of thought. I can, be in the moment. It's like, it's so neurological, right? It's not even like a character flaw the rest of the week. It's just like this thing, especially texts. Like I can really feel how texting is disrupting. Is there a kind of scientific or medical understanding for that?
Well, first of all, the blue light on our devices will definitely deplete your chi, your energy, all that.
Really
more exhausted. But just taking a deep breath, meditating, being in nature, not being on these devices, literally cleansing your body, your brain, your soul. This is literally a detox for 24 hours, right? A digital detox is what we call it, right? And that's really helpful to just kind of reset your body, your brain, your mind, your soul. And I think it's a beautiful thing. This is why I feel like, Shabbat is a beautiful thing. I should do that too. But, I talk to my parents in Israel, and triathletes, we go cycling at 6 a.m. on a Shabbat, which is crazy, but it's what we do. And
isn't that okay?
For me, I'm not a Shomer Shabbos. I'm not religious.
Right.
I do my prayers and I light the Shabbat candles. And growing up in Israel, we do every Friday night and as Shabbat, which is the most beautiful thing. And we still do it in Israel. But being here in America, I don't do it as much, but I still try to keep my culture and my, I forget the word I'm looking for, but the
tradition.
Thank you, the traditions. Keep them going. But I think it's a very healthy thing to just disconnect. And for me to disconnect is being in nature, swimming, going cycling, taking fresh air, and not being connected to this programmed world and just taking a break. This is sometimes where I just get off social media. I don't want to hear, I don't want to see, I don't want to know what's going on in the world. I just want to be. And when you are being, you're able to think clearer. You're able to actually hear your thoughts, feel your body, and really just be with yourself and being just as one and not as programmed as what people tell you or what you're hearing. And you keeping that vortex clearer, as I call it. The vortex is that energy field that you can program the way you like it with positive things, positive thoughts, energies. You can literally create a whole life and bring it into fruition, bring it into reality by manifestation, right? This is a whole topic that we can talk about.
I can't wait. Well, in the time that we have left today, I should drill down into
detoxing.
How you detox from heavy metals. And before I do, I just want to share that Bob, I can't even pronounce that, says reprogramming the human soul. He or he said that when we were talking about these DNA, the alien DNA injections, which now that you just describe it seems so like weird. And Prayer X10, this is kind of related, says, why is President Trump so pro AI?
This is a big problem, and I'm not a fan of AI. I mean, it's nice to be able to do some material, like get some material off of it, but I'm not a fan of it, especially if they're trying to replace doctors or replace humans. It's just, I don't like it at all. Not a fan of that. Red light therapy is a great way, and you don't have to be rich to get a red light therapy little panel for $200. You can get that online. I know I use them every day almost for whether it's for my face or my belly or wherever. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the AI, and that's a whole different topic that, I'm not an expert on. However, not a fan, really not, because we should be using our brains more than just AI. That's going to numb people and make them really more into, let's just talk to computer
Right.
and ask those
Yeah.
questions instead of going to my doctor or, yeah.
Yeah, putting the whole kind of locking in of the AI grid together with what you were saying about young people being so heavily vaccinated, so confused.
Right.
I see it. I went into our local high school here, kids from all walks of life, and they just don't look well. And we're in the middle of a beautiful rural area. They should be thriving, but they look. Sorry?
Seed oils also in food.
Oh,
Seed oils make them
yes.
sick. So if you look at why are they not well, and sorry to interrupt here, but seed oils is another thing that is extremely toxic. If the kids are constantly on their devices, their iPads, their computers, their phones, they're doing this, first of all, destroys their posture. When you're doing this constantly and you're doing this, I was just doing a reel on Instagram. Make sure your back is straight, make sure your neck is straight too, and you're not constantly doing this, because that's going to age you faster and it's going to give you a lot of back problems, a lot of internal organs problems as well. So number one is how are they watching their screens, right? Number two, what are they eating? Fried foods, seed oils in everything, sugar. Now, thank God for RFK for banning food coloring. So that's going to be out, because these food colorings, the reds, the yellows, the green, all these food colorings are extremely toxic for your brain and for your body, carcinogenic as well, and neurotoxic. And then less activity, physical activity, because they're so addicted to their devices. So they're not as active. They're constantly sedentary, reading on computers instead of opening a book, instead of socializing normally like we used to play outside.
Right.
We never played inside. We played outside, right? Jump rope and basketball, soccer, anything, swimming, biking, run, like anything, like outdoors as much as possible.
They don't do that anymore, for sure.
Some of them do if the parents push them to do, and if the parents don't allow, because it's really the parents' behavior that affects the children's behavior, right? And yeah, children can mimic or try to mimic what the kids in school are doing, but if you educate them from a young age and you really, bring that into their conscious of, hey, this is what will make you feel better and smarter and more healthy, let's do this instead of that. And show them from a young age, ingrain them from a young age. Yeah.
So much work to be done, because even if kids, I have a 13-year-old stepson and he's very athletic. He's on the football team and that's wonderful. But even kids who are athletic, they need to be like ferried to their activities, and the parents are there at the sidelines. They don't have that freewheeling, social and emotional and physical interaction outside, kind of on their own, that we used to have, that taught so much. Oh God, what a world we've given them.
What a world we live in now. It's very interesting.
It's so much. Well, I'm hopeful, because some schools have started to ban the devices. I can't believe they got introduced.
We should all ban it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go to the detoxing. I've been actually reading about diatomaceous earth as a detoxifier, and various herbs that detoxify heavy metals, but you're the expert. Say I want to detox from heavy metals periodically. How often should I do it, and how should I do it?
I like little daily detoxing, to be honest, and not just once a year, big time, you throw your body off completely. For parasites, for example, I recommend 3 to 4 times a year minimum. Heavy metals, since we are surrounded, and if you are eating raw fish, or if you're eating any fish, if you're eating tuna or even salmon or any fish, swordfish is the highest, right? Tuna, seafood, you're breathing outside, you're walking barefoot, you're walking in with your shoes in your house, you're going to get in lead. Heavy metals are in nature. You cannot avoid that, even in rice, right? It's in nature, it's in food, it's in your vaccines, it's in water. If you drink tap water, it's in the air you breathe, it's in your gas stations, it's everywhere. So you can't avoid it. So I like to actually do regular daily detoxing with certain binders and herbs. And I'll start with a few of them. So if we're talking about like let's start with like the spike support, which is great for, by the way, the mRNA vaccine we have, and the wellness company came out with that. And it has the nattokinase and dandelion greens and other herbs and seaweed, iodine, and different herbs in here that are synergistically helpful for detoxing, not just the spike, but also your body, and helpful on a cellular level. And then you want to do broccoli sprout, which broccoli sprouts is great for not only liver detoxing with the active ingredient being sulforaphane, which when you eat broccoli or take broccoli sprouts, it's the concentrated ingredient that activates it, and that detoxes your liver. Especially from excess estrogen. And, estrogen can also be found in xenoestrogens, plastics, right? Microplastics. Then I would go to zeolite. Zeolite is one of my favorite way to detox heavy metals. And that literally is a negative charge, helpful for all the heavy metals and everything to pull them out. Charcoal, activated charcoal, chlorella.
How do you take activated charcoal in a capsule?
You can take them in different binders. You can take them in liquid. You can take them in pills. And I have different formulas that I use with zeolite, charcoal, and chlorella, or zeolite, activated charcoal, and I forget, Chilogit or fulvic.
Chilogit. I don't know how to use that. I bought a chunk of it in India. It's like a big black chunk.
Yeah. So is it powder?
No, it's like a rock. What do I do with it?
Oh, shoot.
I could have just suckered at the market.
You can actually cut it and soak in a tub also.
Oh,
that
really?
will help detox your body.
Oh, wow.
Parasites, metals, anything. And you can actually also grate it and probably smash it and you drink it in water.
Oh, my goodness.
Very small. Yeah.
Okay.
But Shilajit, fulvic humic acid is great.
Well, people know what Shilajit is because it's such a trippy substance. It's like the sweat of rocks, right?
Yeah, it's black. It's like I don't know, I forget the word to say it, but it's a rock. It's a oh my God, it's a fulvic humic,
right?
Lava rock. I don't know. Yeah.
You're supposed to take it internally.
You can take it internally and you can soak it in a bathtub.
Right. Wow.
And you can also apply it on your face, on your skin. I have done that. I have photos of that. Be careful. It stains everything, including your teeth and clothing. So be very mindful of that.
Okay.
Do not wear white. Yeah. And just be careful. But it's a great way to detox. But zeolite, chlorella, broccoli sprouts, and then you want to do the milk thistle, the liver, gallbladder ones. So high dosages of vitamin C, especially liposomal vitamin C. You can go up to 5 to 10 grams a day to really help detox metals and detox your body. Zinc, biotin, so B vitamins as well. Molybdenum, I can never say that word. NAC, glutathione. So NAC is L-acetylcysteine, and it's a precursor for glutathione, which is the master of all antioxidants in your body. And glutathione, you definitely need to have to detox your body, period.
Really?
Your lungs, but detox the metals, the plastics. By the way, zeolite also has been shown to detox microplastics.
Really?
I've read about that. I was listening to Dr. Suzanne Humphries, and she was talking about that. And this is one of my favorite substances, zeolite, that also has been shown for microplastics, not just heavy metals, and PFAS, forever chemicals.
Right.
Doing zeolite, for me, on a regular basis, I love doing that.
How does zeolite work to get rid of microplastics, which are so...
Just like it does with heavy metals, it literally traps it in a cage and moves it out of your body without attacking your organs like you would if you do... I'm forgetting some words today. Forgive me. The IV chelation therapy. Yeah. So it doesn't dump it. It's not harsh. It's very gentle. And it just works with your body in a very gentle way without throwing it off completely.
Wow. But people might listen to this list, which is very impressive, Dr. Elbaz, and think,
I know.
and think it's a lot. You know, you're not saying we take all of these supplements every day. You're saying periodically we take some of these. Like, how do we know? And how often?
Yeah. So, and again, I do consultations on as you know, but I do like to recommend, and I do take certain things every day.
Okay.
And certain things I do a few times a week, and certain things I do a few times a year.
Oh, interesting.
So really depends. But if you want to get rid of also parasites, candida, Lyme, mold, you really have to also get rid of metals because they hold on to all of that stuff.
Interesting. Lyme. That's such an issue.
That's a complex topic that I won't even get into, but yeah.
Wow. And so when you detox heavy metals, where do the heavy metals go? Do they get excreted through your kidneys and your urine?
Yep, you can flush them out through your sweat, your urine, your stools, and your body in general, but that's how you excrete, that's how you detox. So you want to make sure your detox pathways and drainage pathways are always open.
Right.
So you want to make sure you are pooping regularly every day, 1 to 3 times a day, right? Not just little pebbles, but actually clearing your stools. If you're just going once a week or a few times a week, you are not detoxing. You are full of,
that sounds so unhealthy.
It's not healthy at all, right?
Patients who are in that condition of
oh my gosh, I have patients that sometimes in the beginning when they start working, they didn't go for they go once a week. I'm like, once a week? I even half a day. I'm like, are you kidding me? Not healthy. So how much, literally, I don't want to say those words on TV here, but how much stuff is in them? So if you're not sweating, if you're not peeing properly, if you're not pooping properly, you're full of toxins. Sweat is a very important way. This is why I recommend saunas and exercising. This is actually why the one thing I love about the Florida weather is working out outside and sweating a lot when I work out. Unfortunately, I also sweat when I don't work out now, but it's, it just helps you feel so much better. And then I did sauna today. I swam, I did sauna, constantly cleansing because we are bombarded with toxins. Now, it doesn't matter how much, you want to detox so you're not loading your liver because your liver is not going to be able to do the job by itself. It needs help, as do your kidneys.
And you've talked also about the lymphatic system and how important it is for getting rid of toxins. Is there anything you want to add about that, or skin brushing, or any kind of?
I love skin brushing. I actually use a loofah every day in my shower. I bring mine from Israel, but if you don't have access to those hardcore loofahs, get a brush, dry brush, or you can use it in a shower and literally brush it onward, right? So if you do the legs, do it up towards the heart. Dry brushing, lymphatic herbs, with actually rebounding. And now my favorite new thing.
Rebounding, jumping on a trampoline?
Correct. Running, trampoline, jump rope, anything that makes you right will help the lymphatics. But my favorite new thing that I purchased, best investment, is the vibrating plate.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. I go on it for 10, 20 minutes every day. Not only do you burn calories like crazy, you're activating your muscles, you're really draining your limbs. You feel night and day. It moves your liver, moves your back, moves every possible area of your body, and makes you feel so much better.
These things were popular in the 50s and 60s, vibrating machines with like a belt around your waist. And then they were kind of made fun of and retired and caricatured. I wonder, I know I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I wonder if they were made fun of because they're effective ways of keeping people healthy.
Sure. And you're a truth teller. You're not a conspiracy theory. I call us truth tellers.
So where do you get a vibrating plate?
Yeah, so I was at a medical conference, the American Anti-Aging Conference a couple of months ago, and they obviously have all these booths for all the products and stuff. So I went there and I got on it and I was like, oh, I just need to wake up, because I was sitting in classes listening to lectures and I was just like, oh, God, help me, wake me up. I need to move my body. And getting on it for a few minutes, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel better. So I have my rep actually said, if you ever want to refer anyone, I'll give them your price, not the actual retail price, which is like half off almost.
Oh, wow.
I'll send you the link. So I'll send you her information. Actually, I don't have a link, but amazing. So I've been using it every single day, loving it. It makes such a difference. Also in digestion, if you're constipated, or if not, if you have ovarian pains, if you even have cysts, like it just really helps. This is not a medical advice, but it really just helps move everything. Everything feels so much better. I cannot, I can't talk so highly of it. I'm not selling the product. I wish I did, but man, it is good.
Oh, that's so fascinating. Is there a brand name, or are you allowed to say where people find
Let me
it?
see if I can find it.
Is it super expensive? I know a lot of people who are listening.
About 4,000. I paid half of that, pretty much. Vibrating, that's where I got it from, and I have the girl's information. I can send it to you. You're welcome to contact her. She's amazing.
Vibrating. All right, everyone, you heard it here. And I was thinking, when you were talking about kind of sweating every day and saunas, the issue of cost, right? Let's just that directly. Supplements can seem very expensive month by month. The red light sauna that I use every day, practically Sunlighten, costs $6,000. And what you just
they're great though.
They are completely great. But I guess what I wanted to say, and I'm acknowledging that, most of America lives paycheck to paycheck, and these are really major expenses. But I also have been thinking a lot about how expensive it is to be sick, especially in this country, even if you have health insurance. After the deductibles, after the totally opaque billing, and just the kind of misery and lost professional opportunity and lost personal opportunities of being sick or just not feeling well. I've really begun to think differently about these investments in health, in preventive care, because I think even though it takes a lot to write a check for $4,000 or $6,000, you've got it. You think about what it's staving off, right? What it's preventing, and the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars you don't have to spend in being sick. Sorry.
Exactly. So here's what I have to say about that. Your health is an investment. It's not an expense. You are better off investing now than later with medical bills when you are sick and unwell and not enjoying life. So if you're investing in your health now, and you're eating well, you're exercising well, you're sleeping well, and so many things are priceless. There are $0, sunshine, sleep, exercise, going outside for a walk, eating clean. Of course it costs, but eating toxins is also still paying money, and then you're paying later for medical bills to offset what you've done, the toxins, right? So you're better off investing in your health. It's not an expense. Think about it as I always say, you have one place to live. If you don't invest in it now, where are you going to live, right? And then you have to expend more money and medical bills on it later on. And medical bills are not cheap. And being sick is not nice. It's not fun. I was there when I was, post my military service. I was not well for a long time, and I was sleeping 14, 15, 16 hours a day. I wasn't feeling well. Didn't matter what I do, but I was, like, my lymphatics were blocked, right? My liver was toxic probably. I was filled with heavy metals from military vaccines and nursing school vaccines and God knows what, right? So it wasn't until I learned how to that I never ever want to go back to where I was before. This is why my money, gas, my bills are my food, my exercise, my devices, my plate, whatever it is. But it's worth the investment because health is priceless.
Yeah, no, that's well said. Dr. Elbaz, time flies when we talk to each other. And we've come to the end of our time together. What are your parting thoughts, especially about heavy metals and detox, and where can people find you?
So detox regularly if you can. Make sure your bowels are open every day. You're pooping, you're sweating, you are urinating properly, you're doing all the things that you can do, and definitely contact me. I can be found at thevibrantglow.com, thevibrantglow.com, or on Instagram, dr.hadarsofia, dr.hadarsofia, and the wellness company, of course, twc.health, health, and you can see my bio there. But reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions. If you guys need any help, any guidance, I'm here. And I love doing shows with you, Dr. Naomi. I love that. It's so nice.
Well, I can personally vouch for what a difference Dr. Elbaz has made in my own life. I'm so grateful for you and for the Wellness Company. All right, everyone, you know what to do. And we're going to sign off now. But please reach out to Dr. Hadar with, questions or seeking advice. She's just a font of wisdom. Thank you so much. I feel so inspired. I'm going to go exercise. I'm going to go sweat because you've inspired me. Take care.
Thank you so much.